Hi guys, today I'm talking about different assignment types I've had. So the different types of assignments I've had so far have been essays, multiple choice quizzes, in-person exams, lab reports, coursework. I have a presentation coming up, and if you're an honours student, then you'll have a dissertation in your third year. For the duration of my course, which is forensic investigation, I've had mostly essays and multiple choice quizzes. I've had a few in-person exams, 2 lab reports. I haven't had loads of coursework, and so far only got the 1 presentation coming up in third year. Before that, I've never had a presentation before, so there's so far only been 1 during my 3-year course. I do know that some courses have a lot more presentations. For example, maybe occupational therapy have presentations maybe once a week or once every few weeks, so they're quite common in that one. It really just depends on the degree that you're studying and the career prospects, which may require more presentation skills. I found that in first year I had a lot of multiple choice exams. Most of them were open book sort of ones, so it just means that you'll be given a certain amount of time, say an hour, and then you'll have to answer maybe like 50 questions that the lecturer has given you. Sometimes they can be randomly selected questions, so they might have maybe 100 questions and then yours will be selected from those questions. So it also means that you can't really sit with a friend and then do it. It means that you'll have different questions to each other, so it's one of those ways that they make sure that you can't cheat. Usually multiple choice quizzes, you'll have a few days or a week to be able to do the quiz in that time. Once you start it, you have to finish it in that certain amount of time, and that will count as your 1 submission, your 1 attempt at that quiz. After that, it won't allow you to retake it, so you have to be ready to take it in that one go. So far I've had 4 in-person exams, and they were for 2 different units. It really depends on what sort of assignments you like. Personally, I get quite nervous for exams, but then I've performed well enough in them still. So it's one of those things where a lot of it will be memory and how well you manage your time. These ones are, I think, a better test of your knowledge, so you really have to know your stuff for them, because you don't have any of your textbooks or your content to look back at. You're put on the spot there. You have about 2 hours in that exam hall to fill out your paper. This year I've got forensic lab skills. That's been quite interesting. It's quite challenging, but as you go along in the unit, you fill out certain questions that you've been given by each lecturer. Although it's been a challenge, some of it's been quite interesting and quite fun to do. So again, it depends on your interests and your motivation really. One I forgot to mention at the start was I've had quite a few of these actually, crime scene practical assessments. So I'm given a certain amount of time to go into a mock crime scene that the lecturers have set up, and then I'm given maybe an hour, 2 hours, or in one case where I went out for a day trip, we had about 4 or 5 hours to process a crime scene. So you are put into teams, or sometimes you can choose your teams. It depends what year of study you're in. You'll be put into teams and all given certain roles, so maybe crime scene photographer, a CSI, so just collecting evidence and passing it to an exhibits officer. I found those ones the most fun, just because you're not looking for specific answers like you would in a multiple choice quiz, or in an essay you're not finding references and then having to Harvard reference them at the end. It's a different kind of thing. This is where you're putting your knowledge into physical practice. You're finally doing it physically, which I think I've learnt the best from. It also consolidates my knowledge better than the other ones, I think, because once you've done a quiz or an exam, you tend to forget a lot of that knowledge unless you keep it up. But I remember these practical exams because they're physical memories, and I was in a different place, different location, looking through a crime scene, which I personally find really fun. So hopefully you found that useful, got a bit of insight into what to expect, and good luck in the future.